Hey, what's going on with Speed Josh? So I've had a few questions and comments on my videos about what kind of Halo 5 controls I use. So I figured the best thing for me to do would be to answer it with a video showing you guys my actual Halo 5 controls. That way, in case anybody else had the same question, this would be able to answer it for them. So first things first, let's go on with what kind of controller I use. So this is the controller I use. Not many people know about it or use it. It's pretty dang rare, but this is it. It's called the Super Pad. It's excellent precision. That's how you get those no scopes and everything. Just great control to use. Obviously I'm just joking. That's not the controller I use. That's for the Super Nintendo. Really old controller. But the real controller that I use is this one right here. So this is the one I got from the Xbox One Design Lab. I designed it myself. If you guys watch my unboxing video, you probably already have seen it. I really like it. I like the way it looks and everything. It does have that grip on the back right here. It's kind of like a plastic grip. So it allows me to control, have better control on my controller. And, if you ever get sweaty or anything while you're playing, it doesn't, it won't affect you as much because you do have that grip on there. Now, I used to use the Xbox One Elite controller. That was a really good controller. That has excellent grip on it, but mine broke. The joystick on it just broke, and like when I turn, it just drifts. It's really strange. I don't know how it broke, but I was disappointed that it did break because it's a really good controller to use. Now, one thing I also always try to use is I try to keep my controller plugged in. You guys can see right there that is just plugged into my console. I try to use that all the time because it's a little bit faster response than like wireless when you have a wire connected. It's not a huge difference. You can do without it and do just fine. But that's what I try to use most of the time, and that it keeps my controller charged at the same time all the time, so I don't have to worry about dying. But I just like that faster response time, just so I don't have to worry about it. So now that you guys know what kind of controller I use, let's go ahead and hop into the Halo 5 screen, and I'll show you guys my actual Halo 5 controls. Okay, so now we are in the settings of my controller for Halo 5. So the button layout that I use is Recon. I just really love to use Recon. It's what I've used for years now, and I just got really used to it. I do switch it up every now and then to Bumper Jumper. You guys probably know that if you watched some of my previous videos. I haven't used it too much, but I like Recon more than Bumper Jumper. The main difference, I think, is the sprint and clamber. So you have to use A to jump and clamber with Recon, and X to sprint, whereas in Bumper Jumper it is the left bump for jump and clamber, and then just A for sprint. So it's a little bit different. Now, I noticed that I think a lot of people actually use Bumper Jumper because they like it. There are a good amount of people that use Recon too, I think, but I feel like Bumper Jumper is just a pretty popular button layout for a lot of Halo players. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's just kind of what it seems like anyway. Now, some of you guys have told me to use, I think it was Hell Jumper. I've never used Hell Jumper before. Jump and clamber is left bump, and sprint and zoom is A. So it's kind of similar, I guess, in that regard to Bumper Jumper. So I'm gonna have to give it a go just to see what it might be like to change it up a little bit and see if I maybe I like it more. I don't know, but probably not. I've just really loved using Recon all the time. So that's just what I got used to. And so it's pretty hard to actually learn a new button layout because you kind of have to rewire your brain a little bit. It just doesn't feel really familiar to you. So you play worse until you can actually get a grasp of it and all that stuff. So I use Recon. That's my button layout. Now, I have also tried anyway, the claw grip with my controller. I couldn't get used to that. Maybe I didn't try it enough. I don't know. But I know some people do use that too. But I just couldn't do it. So Recon is the one I stick with pretty much all the time. Thumbsticks, default layout, I don't even worry about that. It's just look up, look down. Those are normal. Move forward, move backward. Just normal. My look sensitivity is on 4. So I used to use 3 all the time, but then I switched it to 4. It's a few months ago now. But I found 4 is pretty good. It's a little bit better than 3 in my opinion because it allows you to, like if you're sniping or anything, it allows you to turn faster and just try to get a headshot or a no scope or whatever it may be. I found that it's a little bit better than 3 in that regard. It's allowed me to get some more kills with the sniper, and also with your BR if you want to just swing and get some kills that way. So I do like 4 more than 3. Like I said, I used to use 3 all the time, but I think 3 is just a little bit too slow for turning and all that stuff. Now, if we go into the actual look sensitivity, my horizontal look sensitivity is at 2. I've never messed with these. My vertical look sensitivity is at 4. So I've never messed with those, like I said before. I just messed with the overall look sensitivity from 3 to 4, and now I use 4 all the time. Okay, my look acceleration is at 1. I honestly don't think I've ever changed this in Halo 5. I just keep it at 1. The higher the setting, the faster acceleration with the right joystick is held to the edge. So I guess mine's slower in that regard because the default is 3. But I don't think I've ever messed with it in Halo 5. I just don't use it too much. Look inversion is off. I don't worry about this at all. Flight inversion, same thing, is off. Now toggle crouch, I always put on. I always like to have my toggle crouch on because I like to press the crouch button once, and it stays that way until I press it again. But that way I don't have to worry about holding the joystick down or whatever the button is to crouch. I can just focus on the other buttons that I need, like in a gunfight or something. The only downside of having the toggle crouch on is if you want to do that fast movement where you get across the map. I think it's like crouch, slide, and then thrust or something like that, and that's how you get across the map, like in Warzone or whatever, faster. I've tried that. I really don't care too much about that because I just like have my toggle crouch on, so I can just press the button once and not have to worry about it. So if you want to do that, that's totally fine. If you want to get around the map faster, then go right ahead. But for me personally, I just like having the toggle crouch on. Clench protection off. I'm not even sure what this does. I've never actually read it. I've never changed it. It's always been off. So we're gonna leave it like that. Disable assassinations. It is off too. So I can actually, perform the assassination. Now, a lot of people use this as on. They keep the disable assassinations on. So, like, especially if you're a competitive Halo player or you're like a pro and you're playing arena, you definitely want to have this on because you don't want to have to worry about performing assassination in a competitive scene because that leaves you vulnerable to get killed yourself or just lose time to help your team out or something like that. So if I sometimes I turn it on if I'm going into arena and stuff. I'll do that, but most of the time I do keep it off because it's fun just to perform the assassination on somebody. It's kind of like insult to injury, so it is fun to have it off. Maintain sprint off. I don't know if I've ever changed that or anything like that in Halo 5, but it just maintains. If you keep it on, maintains your speed during thruster pack, clamber, and reload when your left trigger is held forward. Auto stabilize on. I do like auto stabilize because it allows you to scope in and just kind of hover there and sit there for a few seconds or whatever it may be. I do like that, so I always keep it on. Hold the clamber off. I just like to press the button once and clamber up, and so I always keep it off. It's just really nice that way, really convenient. Vibration off. Always keep it off. I used to keep it on all the time until a few years ago. Then that's when I turned off. You find that when you do turn off, it allows you to not have to worry about the interruption of the vibration and all that stuff, so it's a bit smoother with your hands and all that stuff, pressing the buttons. So I just keep the vibration off. Inner dead zone 6%. So the higher the setting, the greater the input needed from the center. So mine's at halfway, which the default is 12, and this is to prevent drift. So I guess mine, it's pretty good. It's pretty good there at 6. I like it. Outer dead zone is at 12. The higher the setting, the less input needed based on proximity with the edge. So mine's actually pretty high because the default is 10. So it prevents slow turn. So it allows me to turn, decently fast. So I do like that about the outer dead zone. So that's my Halo 5 controller layout scheme right there. I use Recon all the time, like I said before. It's just what I really like to use and all that stuff, and what I've grown to use for over the years playing Halo. So hopefully, this answers you guys' question of what I use for my Halo 5 controls. And I'd love to know what you guys use. Do you guys use the same thing I do? Or do you guys use bumper jumper? Whatever it might be. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments of what your controls are because, I'm curious. I'm curious to know what a lot of the other Halo players use and what suits them best. But, it's fun changing up every so often, seeing if you like a different layout better or maybe it suits your playstyle a little bit better. I've tried just bumper jumper, once or twice, and I just can't get accustomed to it like I can Recon. But maybe that's with time you will be able to do that. So that's my Halo 5 control layout. Hopefully, like I said before, it answers your questions, and I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please give a thumbs up. That'd be great. If you're new, subscribe. That'd be better. And I'll see you guys next video. See ya.